95.7 The Hog, the Morning Hog radio show. Riggs, Guy, and the Morning Hog Brew Review with Vinny from SR
All right.
Well, that was delayed.
Fastball.
Absolutely.
It spun for a second.
It was my
did.
It's my change-up, man. I got the... Hey, man, you're soloing today.
I'm soloing. You know how that goes.
But look at your special friend.
He's pretty.
First time, and as a nod to National Intern Day just a couple days ago, Intern Steve is...
Oh! Where's
Now-
intern Steve Speedo?
Yeah. Steve?
No comment.
Okay.
He's
Now-
actually got them on underneath.
Oh, does he?
Now, I know you have an assistant. Krista is your assistant. If
Yes.
she needs an intern, Intern Steve is available.
I like that idea.
Yeah.
She can intern for Krista.
Yeah.
Okay, we can
Yeah.
try that out. You know anything about beer?
I know enough.
Okay. Can you drink it?
Absolutely.
You're in.
We'll find out.
All right,
We're going to find out.
good.
Now, the order of the week this week on the Brew Review, Sam Adams.
Mr. Sam Adams, one of the older craft beer brewers out there.
Not a president, right?
No.
Always
no.
get that confused.
No.
John Quincy Adams, he was the president.
Yeah, Sam Adams never was.
Yeah.
He had something to do with the Declaration of Independence, I guess.
Yeah, something
So,
he
some to
wrote,
that
he wrote
effect.
on it.
I think he did. Signed it or something.
But this is the top of the line Boston Lager. But we're talking about it having it here in Florida, which is also very, very good.
Absolutely. They've actually been here a while, believe it or not. SR Parada, I believe, picked them up in 1989.
Okay.
In fact, I believe that we were one of the first Sam Adams kegs that was tapped over on Beachside for a place that was called Burn Castle. They're not
Really?
around anymore, but Jim Cook, the owner, came down in a limo. Our owners were all out there. It was a great time. They tapped it and introduced it to Florida, northern Florida. So
It's
great
crazy to
times.
imagine there was a time where Sam Adams beer was not available in the state. It's weird to imagine that, but that's how it goes, right?
Absolutely. He when he first started his, he was in college, decided to come out of college, use his grandfather's recipe to produce the lager, which we'll get into to talk about in a little bit. But he was a marketing guy, and he knew how to market, knew how to get it out there, as well as brewing. So when he first started, he was actually on the East Coast and West Coast, but not everywhere in between. He just set his goals and wanted people to roll. So and he did it from there.
Well, thank God for SR Parat once again for making things better.
Trying. And like I say, we've had these guys since like 1989. So,
Wow.
SR Parat's, the owners are always ahead of the game.
Right.
When imports came out, she grabbed them. When the craft started coming out, she grabbed them. So they know what they're doing over there.
And they make a variety of beers. You brought 4 special ones today.
Yes, I did.
Look at our stunt bottle right here. There was no pre-gaming going on at all. I'm just going to move that right over here, Benny, because it doesn't exist. Oh, no, it doesn't exist.
Doesn't
All right.
exist.
So tell us what we're going to be sampling today.
Well,
man.
so what I did is I brought a couple of the classics, and then I brought a couple of the new ones in.
Okay.
The classics that I brought in are Sam Lager, which
Okay.
is the original recipe that he got from his grandfather and started brewing and
Right.
getting it out there. The second one I brought is Cherry Wheat, which is a wheat beer that they do for a long, long time. The third one I brought out is 76, which is kind of an ale hybrid
Right.
lager, ale lager hybrid. I'll get into that when we get there.
Right.
And then the last one is their newest edition, which is the New England IPA. So, which is really nice. I know you guys are the IPAers, so I
Yes,
made
sir.
sure I brought that out for you guys to try.
Now, does Sam Adams make a sour at all?
Sam does do, some big heavy sours. Or trying to remember the name of the collection, but they are made. They have this special barrel that they use up in Sam Adams that it has the bacteria in it to sour the beer,
Right.
and they call it. I'm trying to remember, but anyway, yes, they do 3 big bottled sours. There's a cherry, I believe, and there's a couple other flavors, but those are specialties. We've had them in a few years ago. They kind of come and go, but yes, he does mess with sours.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Sam's also put out those big sampler packs, too, of sort of, I guess,
The mix
more
packs.
limited
Yeah,
mix packs, right?
the summer packs are just about done right now,
Yeah.
which has the summer ale in it.
Right.
The fall packs are about to come out, the variety fall pack, which is going to have our favorite, Oktoberfest.
Nice.
So we're looking to see Oktoberfest probably in about 2 weeks.
Ooh.
I know it's August, but they're running out with that. So between probably about 2 weeks, we'll have the summer gone,
Okay.
and we'll have the Oktoberfest come in, which is one of Sam's best sellers. That's a really good Oktoberfest. It's actually won awards over in Germany.
There's the award. It just fell
There's
off
the
the
award.
You just got attacked.
I saw that coming too.
It was on its way.
I really enjoy when they put out the seasonals. That's awesome. It just sucks for waiting for them.
Absolutely. He's pretty much got the stranglehold on seasonals. What they do is they do a spring seasonal, which is cold snap. They run it into summer seasonal. They run into Oktoberfest, and then they run it into the winter lager, which is a really good beer as well. My favorite's probably the winter lager, cold snap, and the Oktoberfest, and then the summer right behind it. So, yeah, summer's made with Birds of Paradise.
I haven't tasted most of the ones you have here, but my all go-to is the original.
Yep. Yeah,
Just
the
the
lager.
Sam Adams
Yeah,
lager.
that's what we have here today. We're going to roll with that one to show you.
All right.
The first one we're going to start with is the Sam Adams Cherry Wheat.
Okay.
It is made with Michigan cherries, and it's made with wheat malt. And they're not very sweet. It's got a little bit of that dry flavor to it as well.
It's a little bit of a sour. It's not sour, but
Not
it's
a sour, but
yeah.
it's going to give you some of that tart cherry,
Right.
which is what you're going to get out of there from the Michigan cherries. As we know, they have that different flavor profile.
And this is primarily why our intern Steve is here, because he is a huge fan.
Yep.
He
It's my
told
personal
me
favorite.
that he cashed his intern check for about 3 straight months on just that beer.
Just the cherry wheat?
Yeah.
I thought he stood on the side of the road in a Speedo trying to raise money for it, but that's
right.
a whole
That's right,
different...
'cause he does not get paid. Yeah,
He
you're
does.
right.
That's
what
right.
it was.
Okay.
That's what-
All right.
good.
So this is going to be actually 5.3% alcohol.
All right.
Sorry, Steve. I had to bring that up.
okay.
This is going to be
We'll work for beer.
He's used
5.3%
to it.
alcohol. And this is going to be made with Michigan cherries.
All right. Now, I wonder
Now
what
you're the
Michigan
intern. You
cherries,
get last.
Vinny.
Here we go. All right. Here we go.
not-
We get it all set.
Do they not make cherries in Massachusetts?
It smells fruity.
It is.
Yeah, it
fruity.
is nice. Michigan's popular for its cherries.
Yeah.
They have a really good profile on the cherries.
Excellent. Okay.
It does have
this is the
a
actual-
cherry hint to it, yeah.
Cherry wheat.
Look at
It's
that.
going to be...
Gorgeous. Golden and fruity.
As you can see, it's going to be a little bit hazed. That's from the wheat malts.
Okay.
And it's got a real nice wheat flavor, which is that cereal flavor. And then you get the cherry. What are you laughing at, sir?
Steve still doesn't have his.
Oh, sorry, Steve.
Oh, all right. Well,
And he's sitting there waiting patiently like a child.
Anticipation.
I actually forgot. I'm sorry, Steve.
That's all right.
Okay.
But I guess as an intern, you're probably used to people forgetting you with that. So
Absolutely.
I apologize.
Oh, the bottle's empty. Tough break. No, but this is delightful, and it's not a sour. But as far as Sam Adams goes, there's not a whole lot of fruity Sam Adams that are certainly done year round.
No. This is done year round. They've actually
Yeah.
messed around. They had a blackberry wheat for a while, which is actually really good.
Right.
They had a couple other fruited beers out there. There's a cranberry lambic that they come out with once in a while, which is really good. There's some other good fruited beers, but you usually find them in a mixed pack, or they're seasonal. Like the summer has the Birds of Paradise Green, and it has lemon zest and a few other things in it as well.
Okay.
So you're going to find some fruit involved, but not like you hear, which is just Michigan cherry straight
Yeah.
up, and it actually has a touch of honey as well, so you're going to get a little bit of that flavor profile. That's probably why you like it. Kind of makes it smoother on the backside.
It's a nice balance right there. Very good. Sam Adams
And we all
cherry.
like it when it's smoother on the backside.
Absolutely. And if you're listen, if this puts you in the mind of the cherry pie video like it does to me, join right in. Oh yeah.
Oh,
Delicious.
yeah.
Bobby Brown.
I remember that. Yep.
Yeah. Oh. All right, good. So that ends our warrant segment, but that's very tasty. That is a very good starter right there, Vinny.
Absolutely. Nice, clean, right? Not too heavy. 5.2% alcohol. Easy on the palate.
Yeah, I definitely enjoy that one.
I know you're not big on the fruited beers, and so far I've gotten you with a few of them.
Yeah, you
So
have.
the Last Days of Summer from Tampa, now cherry wheat. So
Well, the last days of summer was a sour, but it was really.
but it was a fruited sour,
yeah,
so we had
fruited
that
sour,
going.
yeah.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
I think that balance of the honey is big, because a lot of if you try a random cherry beer, a lot of times it is more acidic than this is. This is not-
Absolutely.
it has
And
no
that
bite.
honey tampers
Yeah.
it down a little bit.
And it made intern Steve's mustache curl, at least one side of it.
One side. I
Yeah.
see the one side did
Yeah.
curl. Absolutely.
He hasn't had drink enough yet.
No.
Keep going.
Poor intern Steve.
All right.
So the next one we're going to work with is actually the original Boston Lager.
Yeah.
This is the one that he actually started with to get out there and start brewing. It's made with a lot of your noble hops, your Hallertauer, and a few other nobles. It's going to have a real nice flavor profile, very easy to drink, a little bit of bitter, but not too bad.
Okay.
And it's their classic, I believe it's 5% alcohol, so it's not high. It's right in that right range where you can drink a few and not really worry.
This is the OG lager, and we talk about the difference between like an IPA and APA, all the different terms. But for people who don't know, what is the working ingredients or the part that sets a lager apart from anybody else?
Pretty much the yeast, the lager yeast.
Yeah.
There's two types of yeast. There's an ale yeast, which ferments at the top of the tank, and then it usually ferments at a warmer temperature, and it leaves what we call some esters behind. You hear the guys talk about esters all the time. That's kind of a fruity flavor behind that you're gonna taste, and also eats less of the sugar, so it's gonna have a sweeter finish on it. When you get a lager sits at the bottom of the tank and brews at a cooler temperature and eats more of that yeast, so it's gonna leave a drier flavor behind.
Gotcha. Okay.
Now, as you're pouring this, I have a question for you. I think it's Sam Adams. They're the only people, or the first people to start it, the bulbed glass. There's a reason they have the bulb in the glass.
Yes. So when you're holding the glass, Jim Cook, the owner, actually kind of designed that glass. And one of the big reasons, if you look at the glass, you'll see on the bottom, there's an etching there, which keeps the carbonation continually going. Just so you know, if you're out at a bar and you see a dirty glass, whatever's in that glass, it will bubble from that area. So they looked at that and said, okay, it keeps the carbonation, but we want cleanliness. So they put little etchings in the bottom, which will keep that carbonation going, to keep that head up there, to keep that flavor trap. So when you're tasting it in the aromatics, then the bulb on the top, most people hold their glass up top. This forces you to hold your glass below it. So the beer down below is warming up in your hand, but when you sip it, it mixes with the colder beer up top and it keeps it going, number one. Number two, it widens it out, so it gives you more of the aromatics in it. And also, if you look, the lip is extended on the glass a little bit further, so it moves your bottom lip out of the way, so your tongue is getting everything. And if you look at Sam Adams cans, the lips are bigger on the cans than most of your other cans as well. They're a little bit more extended, so that's going to move that bottom lip out, give you that tongue, give that flavor profile to that tongue, so they're getting everything.
That is a lot of Vinny's science class. Let's hear it from Vinny.
Right. It's not me. Jim Cook designed all that, just so everybody knows.
That's great. Vinny's science segment, a new part of the Brew review right here. I like that a lot.
So funny thing. We always talk about cans and bottles, right? And the difference. Everybody's like, I don't want cans. Well, the whole thing with a can.
Who are you hanging out with?
I know. I don't know. I haven't figured it out yet. I think it's my fiance. But
she's delightful, by the way.
She is.
I hope she's not listening.
She doesn't sound like that at all. She sounds nothing like that.
When she's mad.
But there is some prejudice
but anyway,
sometimes.
there's prejudice between cans and bottles, right? Yeah. So I did a taste test one time where I took Sam Adams cans and I took Sam Adams bottles. I poured the samples from the can in the cups and I put the bottle in front of that sample. Then I took the bottle, poured it, and I put the can in front of that. So when they're drinking the canned one, they're actually drinking bottle. When they're drinking the bottle, they're actually drinking can.
Smart.
So we all sit down. I'm like, okay, everybody, and I pass it all out, and I go, okay, you guys can tell me the difference between cans and bottles. Sure can. I said, okay. First one, which one was better, the can or the bottle? And everybody raised their hand about the bottle. And I said, surprise, surprise, surprise. Boom. That is all the cans. And they all looked at me.
Pile, everybody.
Absolutely. Surprise, surprise. So they all looked at me like, what the? And I said, yep, absolutely. So that just shows you, please don't be indifferent about cans.
Sure.
I keep talking about it. They're mini kegs. There's linings in there now. Did you really just do that, intern Steve?
I'm sorry.
Did you just see that?
Your time ran out on your story, according to
is
the
intern.
Is that what it is?
We're
still listening.
Oh, man.
Stop. He took but that's okay. He's an intern, limited focus. We got you.
Okay, all right, so we're good. So the cans work like mini cakes, right? There's linings in the cans. There's so that beer is what the beer is supposed to taste like. It keeps the light out, keeps the oxygen out, keeps everything out. There's no more of that tin flavor that's imparted on it or aluminum flavor that's imparted on it. And you can take a can pretty much anywhere. You can go to the beach with it. You can go hot tubbing with it. You can go wherever you want with it. And it's better for the environment. I mean, what is it? 75% of the aluminum is still being recycled and reused.
Good. Just not in your car.
Yes, not in your car. I didn't say your car.
Now, when it comes to me, I fear no beer. I don't care if it's in a can, a bottle, or a glass. I'm drinking it.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, why not in a can, right? A can is great. It's easy.
A can is convenient.
It's convenient. Look, it's right in the palm of my hand. It's a little tiny keg. We're all set.
By the way, if you put an actual keg in Vinny's hand, it would look just like that. There's no difference. The giant hand.
Let's see what it looks like in yours. We got everything all set. We're going to go with here. But anyway.
Censorship.
That's why I look at the cans. I think the cans are, please don't be afraid of cans. Yeah. And a lot of your people are converting to cans. I just talked to Bell's. We went from Bell's Two-Hearted bottles to cans. Now they're going from Oberon to cans. Oscar Blues was huge on the cans. They're the ones that really kicked off the whole canning process for craft guys. Right. And it's better for the craft guys, too. They can fit more. It's easier to can, and they can store more. They can ship more, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Awesome. I don't have to keep going harping on cans, but don't be afraid of them.
Yeah, don't be afraid of them. They taste just as good.
They do.
And we're here to provide evidence of that. All right. You've got two cans in front of you, which
you
I'm rarely
my
upset
cans?
about you, actually.
You have
cans?
nice cans, Vinny.
Yeah. Really.
Well, one's bigger than the other. But
Well, that's natural.
absolutely, that happens.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
All right.
the next one we have is called Sam 76.
Oh, yeah.
This is actually 4.7% alcohol. It's the IBUs are not super high. It's kind of an ale lager hybrid. From what I understand, is they kind of blend the two to create this beer to make it a little bit special. You can do a couple ways ale lager hybrid. They call them California Commons or steam beers, where they take the ale and they brew it at a colder temperature and it brings different flavor profiles out. Anchor Steam is one of those big ones. But from what I understand with these guys, is they actually blend an ale and a lager.
Okay.
So when they're brewing them, they're done. They blend them together. That gives 76. Very easy drink. 4.7. You can be out there on the beach. You can be wherever you want.
Right.
But you're going to get some good aromatics out of it and a little bit of a hot bite. Not too big, but enough to know that this is a good beer.
This was new this year or the last
This
year
was
or so?
actually new. I believe we kicked this off in January.
January, okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
If you go to SamuelAdams.com, it'll tell you all about it. More than 13,000 hours and 60 trials for one beer.
Wow.
Absolutely. That's great. Oh, just to let you know, too, you can go to SamAdams.com and it'll tell you. Jim Cook personally tests every Sam lager tank batch before it leaves the brewery.
That's almost impossible to imagine because you're talking about a ton
You're
of
talking
those
about a
going
ton
out.
of beer.
Yeah.
You're talking about a
But
ton.
he's-
I think they do like 4 million barrels a year of
Yeah.
total beer.
Yeah.
And he's tasting them all to make sure they're good. And what he'll do too is when they have beer that maybe goes out of code or whatever else, they collect it all at the end of the year. He kind of jumps in it and does a whole
Right.
tank thing. And
Oh,
then they
really?
dump it
Oh, he
all.
takes a
Yeah.
dive.
Oh yeah, they're cool
Really?
too because what they'll do is they want their beer fresh, so they'll tell us to pull it out and they'll help compensate us so it gets out there so their beer is fresh all the time.
So he takes a dive in the beer.
Yes.
I've had a
Okay,
drink.
I'm wondering about the viscosity because can you actually float in beer?
I don't know. I've never tried it.
Oh, someone has a rope.
Saying,
I'm just saying.
maybe 1 week.
We have to get a dump
we can
tank.
at least get a baby pool.
A baby pool might work, or a bathtub.
Yeah.
we
can
do a
try it.
bathtub.
Yeah, your place, bathtub?
Yeah, my place bathtub.
So I would imagine then Jim Cook's got to be he's got to be a spit guy, doesn't he?
I'm gonna tell you one thing about Jim Cook. Years ago, we went up to the Colorado Beer Fest up there, the Great American Beer Fest,
Yeah.
and Sam Adams had an area where you can go meet Jim Cook, for breakfast. So we went out there. I hadn't met him before, so I walked up to him and I'm talking to him. And we're a smaller distributor in Florida. You got to figure I think there's 3,600 distributors around the country, and he's in a bunch of them.
Yeah.
So we're sitting there talking, and I go, "Hey, I just want to appreciate we sell your beer. Thank you very much. I appreciate everything." And he goes, "Where are you from?" I said, "Florida." He's like, "Oh, what distributor?" I said, "A little distributor called SR Parat." And he goes, "Yeah, I know them." And in my head, I'm thinking, there is no way you know who SR Parat is.
Out of
I'm
all
like,
of
"Yeah,
them,
no
right.
way, right? You don't know."
Yeah.
He looks at me. He goes, "Here, you here with Gary or Michelle?" And that's the owners. I had a little chill, and I'm like, "Oh." And then he told me a whole story about Gary and all that kind of stuff, and it was funny. I laughed my butt off. But I looked at him in a whole new respect.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, how do you know every one of your distributors?
That's
It was just
nice.
amazing.
It
And then
matters.
he's come down twice now to have a beer with us down here because we've carried him for so long.
Wow.
He'll get with Gary and Michelle, the owners. They go have a beer, and we take some pictures, and he heads on his way. So it's awesome. I have a lot of respect for him.
Sure.
A lot of people say stuff about Sam, but I'll be honest with you, they're one of the bigger breweries that helped get crafts where it is today.
Yeah.
Sam, Sierra, Brooklyn, all these guys worked in the day to get where we are now. So these little guys could be out here making beer and doing what they have to do.
Yeah.
They were trendsetters, Anchor Steam, and moving forward with things. So we can't remember that we have to go back and make sure we support them as well.
Absolutely.
Support your locals. Yes, I'm all about it. But remember who got your locals where they are.
No kidding.
So in this Sam 76, it says the malt varieties are Sam Adams 2-row, pale ale or pale malt, white wheat, and carafoam. The hop varieties are Cascade, Citra, Mosaic, and Simcoe. And you can get this year round.
I'll
It's
tell you
a
that
4.7 ABV.
Absolutely. Nice and light.
This was one of the feature beers at the Welcome to Rockville Fest
Yeah,
up in
they sponsored
Jacksonville.
it.
Yeah, the spring. And I was more than happy to go and keep handing them money over and over again because they were giving you the big cans for one thing. And it was, this is, you talk about beers that are perfect for a hot day. You just want to chill and you can do some work on them. You could get one and then get another one right afterwards. This is one of those beers.
Absolutely.
This is fantastic.
It is. It's
That's
great,
pretty good.
man.
Yeah.
Sorry, intern, I stepped on you. What were you saying?
No, it's pretty good. Little citrusy taste.
Absolutely, right? Not too bad, not too bitter.
It's a taste of the bicentennial.
I like that.
Shout outs to, I don't know,
Somebody.
John Quincy Adams. I don't know if he was there. Probably.
here we go with that one
1776.
again, right?
Yeah, I don't want to get into too much of a history
Do I have to study
lesson.
history before
Well,
we
you've
come in
already
here?
done your science segment, so I don't want to put the history in there. We don't want too much learning to go on. in
Yeah,
the
we don't
brew
want that
review.
to happen. You can't
but
have too much
It just
learning.
tastes good in mouth. That's what you need to know.
I really
Pour it
like
in.
that.
You like it?
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Right, good flavor on the back. You can tell it's got a little hot bite to it, but not too much.
Yep.
This is available on draft. Excuse me.
Yes.
It's available on draft. It's available in 6-packs and 12-packs.
Right.
So
This
pretty
is
much
everywhere, right?
everywhere.
Stores, yeah,
This
yeah.
is everywhere. Publix, ABC, Total Wines. Your little independents
Right.
and a lot of your on-premise accounts will have it. I know that Scott next door had it for a little bit at McKay's. I know that Abby carries it once in a while. I know that Brass Tap has had it. There's a bunch of different guys that kind of roll with this. It's a great beer.
And grateful that this is not a seasonal too, because this seems like a beer you could have any time of the year.
Absolutely, and I believe it's on at the ballpark as well, over at the Tortugas.
Oh, the Tortugas?
Yep.
Ooh.
Yeah,
That is,
so you
it's an amazing flavor.
Yeah.
absolutely. It's a lot of flavor for that 4.7.
Yeah,
You know?
I didn't expect that from Sam Adams, not at all.
No, a big, huge profile, just real nice and clean. That's what I'm saying. Don't count these guys out. They're coming back.
That's right.
And they got some good stuff going on.
And I'll personally recommend, from experience, if you get like a 6 of this stuff and you cut your grass and you just keep pouring them in your mouth, it'll make your lawn better. I'm telling you, my lawn looked great.
It did until he
only
woke
got
up
half
the next day.
Yeah, I only got half of it done, but it looked great.
Absolutely.
Got an S into it for Sam, and it looked
Yeah, I
good.
like that. The whole S thing and all
Yeah,
that stuff.
I should send that to Jim.
As long as you weren't face down with your pants off.
Well,
So we'll get it all set up and going. All right, so the next one.
all right, back. Yes. Oh, you only
Yeah.
got one beer left, but it's a tall one though. Look, even your hand looks normal in that,
Look at
beer,
that,
in that
huh?
can.
That's
Yeah.
what a beer should look like
That's
in my
right.
hand. Get it all set. So this is actually a 16 ounce. This is the New England style IPA, and it's 6.8% alcohol.
Okay.
The new trend, I think we talked about it before, is the New England. They're usually hazy, a little bit juicier, a little more balanced, less IBU, a little more malt forward, but you're still going to get that citrus on the back from the hops. But it's going to be a lot more sessionable than, say, a double or triple IPA.
Gotcha.
Even though it's 6.8%, it's going to go down a little bit easier.
What was different in this IPA effort that Sam Adams made from any of the other ones that they've tried? Because it wasn't their primary focus anyway. IPAs, right?
They came out with the Rebel. That was
Yeah.
a West Coast style IPA.
Yeah.
So now they're where are they based out of?
Boston.
New England.
New
right?
England.
So they're like, if everybody's doing a New England style IPA,
Yeah.
we're out of New England.
Right.
We got to do a New England style IPA.
Sure.
So they came out with this New England style IPA.
Right.
It's not going to be as hoppy as the
Rebel and stuff, yeah.
Yep. So the Rebel or the Rebel Rouser.
The Rebel
but-
and the Rebel Rouser. Oh,
yeah,
boy.
absolutely. The Rouser is the higher alcohol one.
Oh.
Yeah, that'll get you.
You don't need to tell me that, Penny. I've some days. Woo, the Rebel.
You were rousing, weren't you?
Yeah, but this is again for a brewery not focused around IPAs, which we don't often see so much lately.
Absolutely.
That's a great representation.
You're absolutely right with
Yeah.
that. When people thought back in the day IPAs and pale ales,
Yeah.
they thought Sierra Nevada.
Right.
When they thought lagers and wheats and the others, they thought Sam Adams on the East Coast.
Gotcha.
Most of your hops are in the United States are grown on the West Coast, grown up in the Yakima Valley up there in Wyoming,
Okay.
or not Wyoming, Washington and those areas up there.
Right.
But what people don't realize is upstate New York at one time, from where I'm from, outside of Cooperstown, was the largest supplier of hops for Anheuser-Busch years ago. And then we had a blight and we had Prohibition.
Okay.
The blight's gone, Prohibition's gone. They're starting to grow more and more hops up there. So hops are like grapes and wine. We talked about it.
Right.
Depending on the altitudes, depending on the soils, you're going to get different flavor profiles out of those hops. Your English hops are going to have more earthy tones, grassy tones. Your American West Coast hops are going to have more citrus, more grapefruit, more of that type of flavor profile. And your East Coast is going to have a blend between the two. So it's really good, really cool. And that's the nice part about a hop plant. You can grow a cascade here, and get different flavor profiles out of all of them. Gotcha. Now, I know that they're actually they're growing hops in Florida. Florida is a very tough area to grow because of the heat, and it's not at the altitude you need to be at. But the longitude and latitude either.
Yeah.
But They are growing them down here, and I know. Remember, we had Wops hops on.
Yeah.
They actually got some Florida hops, and they did a whole cone, what they call wet hop. The hops weren't dried out. They actually got the hops right from the field and put them in the beer. So that should be coming out. And I'm curious with that. So we're starting to see a little bit of it down here in Florida.
Cool.
I do not think we'll see what we see up north.
Sure.
But we're seeing some growth, so it works out pretty good.
That's
Yep.
awesome.
So they say this is hazy and juicy, and it's 6.8
Yep.
ABV.
Yep. Absolutely. Yep.
By the way, Hazy and Juicy, and that was the first show that Guy and I did together.
Oh.
We didn't have intern Steve back then, but Hazy and Juicy, we were on a soft rock station in Memphis, and we got fired. I'm not ashamed to say.
I'm just curious who was hazy and who was juicy.
Well, guess.
Yeah, absolutely. It's up to you. One of us had a Latin accent.
Oh.
See?
Okay. El
There you
Gato.
go. Look that up on the internet, Hazy
No,
and
they
Juicy.
used to call me El Gordo.
Yeah.
Gordo.
FCC violations for consumption. Anyway,
Thanks, Steve.
so this is
You are welcome.
the new IPA. This is the fresh, tasty new Sam Adams IPA.
Yep. This is just been out a couple months now, and there again you can
Oh,
see
boy.
it's hazy.
Oh man, look at that.
Okay.
That's good.
Profile golden.
Oops.
Yeah, what's on the other side of that glass? I have no
Overpour.
idea. I can't see it.
Someone did an overpour.
How does he keep ending up with the
I don't know. It
overpour?
ends up over there all the time.
It's like gravity sucks all the beer to that side of the room.
I thought intern Steve would stop it, but he didn't.
He knows better.
That's good. Oh, that's tasty.
Now,
Ooh.
Yeah.
you smell that?
Wow.
Right?
Right.
Getting a little bit of grapefruit,
strong.
citrus,
What do you
very
think,
good
intern Steve?
aromatics out of
Yes.
it.
Okay.
Intern Steve, would you consider yourself a
That is a
hothead?
damn good
I
IPA.
Would you? Okay. All right.
Right?
All right.
Changed my mind.
Absolutely.
I didn't think, I was like, I don't know what their regular IPA is going to taste like, but wow.
This doesn't
really
have a 6.8.
No.
Eight.
Now I see what the juicy
Flavor.
part is. It's, yeah.
You're getting that grapefruity, citrusy kind of undertones and underbites on
Yeah.
it, which is real nice.
Go out and buy yourself
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
4-pack of this or more.
That's good.
It's a
Go out
4-pack,
right now and buy
16
this.
ounce. I'm sorry, you like it, Steve?
Absolutely.
We want to
Nice.
find something other than the cherry that
Wow.
Steve can palate.
Absolutely, because he was only doing, we popped his cherry with the cherry, but now he's talking about the IPA. So have you drank IPAs before, or have you got into those?
I was on a IPA kick for a while, but I kind of shied away from it lately.
So what's
But,
your styles now?
Fruity.
Fruity. Okay.
That one right there.
Banana. He loves. We're back.
Hey,
Hey, welcome back to the
All right,
brew review.
welcome back.
But yeah, that's he's I don't know. We may have taken you away from the cherry wheat for a second. I didn't
Absolutely.
think anything could steer you away.
Yeah.
That was good. I liked the 76 at first, but I like that one better.
You like that one a little better?
Yeah.
All right, that's coming from intern Steve. That's
Look
awesome.
at that unfiltered intern Steve.
Unfiltered intern Steve.
Yeah.
Voice counts. So
like that.
that's good. So you guys like these, right?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Very,
So you
very
guys
good.
understand Sam is still in the game?
All of the Sam stuff is available everywhere, which is really good. You can get it wherever.
Anywhere.
I never
But-
thought they were out of the game.
Yeah.
Nah, some people think they are, and I never thought they were. But sometimes you get what they call those higher end beer
Is that beer snobbery?
Beer
Is that what you're
snob,
talking
yeah.
about?
There's a difference between a beer snob and a beer geek. A beer geek enjoys what they do. They drink it and they express it with people. They'll try anything.
Sure.
They'll drink anything. Where beer snob is the person that goes out and won't try it unless it's under this percentage. Won't try it if it's over this many barrel. Won't. You've got to expand your palate. Doesn't matter who you are. I'll drink High Life. I'll go back and grab a High Life and drink it. And that's what it's all about. You got to drink what you want to drink and what you enjoy and give everybody a shot. So some of those beer snobs feel that some of the bigger guys are out of the game, even though they put everybody in the game.
Sure.
But Sam has never really left. They're the ones that have that Utopias I was talking about,
Right.
which is like 25% alcohol. It's one of the highest fermented beers. There are
Wow.
beers that are higher, but they use a distilling technique where they freeze it, take the alcohol off, redo it. But Sam Adams Utopias comes out every 2 years,
Yeah.
and it is 25%. I actually have 2 bottles that I have at the house, and I let them age and let
I
them
was going to
sit.
say, are you hiding them for a
Well, what I
special
did,
occasion?
so through the years, I'm able to get one every time it comes out.
Sure.
So my niece, she was married, or my nephew was first about 5 years ago. So I went up north and I had the bottle, and I'm walking around his reception area, and people are like, "What is that?" I'm like, "It's a Sam Adams Utopia. Can I try it? What do you drink?" And depending on what they told me is whether
Oh,
I
yeah.
gave them some or not. So they would tell me, I'm like, "No, you're not going to want this." And then I went to my niece's wedding 2 years ago up in Philadelphia,
Yeah.
and her boss that's all he talked about. And I walked in with it, his eyes lit up, and he's like, "Can I try some?" I'm like, like, you give my niece a raise, I'll give you some. We'll get it all set.
Wow.
So they actually toasted with it and everything else. It's a great beer. It's almost like a cognac. It pours like a cognac.
Yeah.
You sip it through a smaller bulbous glass.
Right.
When you're done with it, you put the cap back on. You don't put it in the refrigerator. There's no carbonation.
Really?
You put it back on your liquor shelf.
Wow.
And go, and it'll keep like liquor. You got to figure it's in 25%, so it's 50 proof.
You got someone a raise.
No, it didn't work.
I was going to say, can you go talk to her?
Well, you're only 0 for 1. We've got an appointment on Wednesday.
Do you? Do you want me to come in with you? Bring
we
some
want?
beer?
What do
You know
you
what I
think?
should do is I should bring a bunch of beer, and we'll go ahead and drink it first. Because the Romans used to drink wine, get drunk, and have the Senate would have a meeting, and then they would do it sober. So maybe we should do the same thing. We'll get them all up and going for you. They can have a meeting about your raise. We just won't have the sober one.
Vinny's history lesson. Right
Deal.
there.
All right.
We got another one. Vinny's
So we
history
do it?
lesson. And this is what we need right now. We need
Absolutely.
a guy who will bring some history, intimidation with those giant hands. If you don't give Riggs a guy a raise,
That's it. I'm coming at you.
and you put that hand up there.
Absolutely. Just gonna get it going.
Then it
Get
goes
it all
back to normal
set.
size. Yeah. Something to think about. Well, thank you for the Sam Adams goodness today. And of course, everybody knows they know where to get Sam Adams wherever
Absolutely.
you go.
Pretty much. If you can follow the bouncing can,
Yeah.
we
right.
have a free 12-pack. You have to be over
Oh,
21
okay.
of the 76, which will be the prize.
Yeah.
So make sure you go to the videos on YouTube.
Right.
Because you guys are only getting a part of the story. You'll see the whole thing up there. It's awesome.
That's right.
Uncut, unedited. And you can see the bouncing can.
That's right.
And
It
we'll
happened a minute ago.
have a 12-pack of 76 as long as you're over 21.
Yeah, you
Cool.
never know where that can's going to
Yeah.
appear. All these beers that we've tasted here and talked about, you can find at SamuelAdams.com
Thank you, sir.
and SRParat.com.
SRParat.com. Vinny,
Way
SR
to
Parat.
go.
Intern Steve, your first brew review.
Yay. How'd it
And
go,
your
intern?
laugh.
What'd you
Let's
think?
hear it for you. Yeah, cheers.
You're a dick.